Now, there's no doubt about it that a lot of Star Wars fans have been very much invested in what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been coming up with for the past number of years now, between The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, as well as the Ahsoka Tano TV show, and more to arrive in the next couple of years that's really going to take fans by surprise as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about Bob Chapek is that he, the Disney CEO, is allowing Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to do as they please while they do work alongside George Lucas, helping them out, and really kind of taking a lot of key aspects from Star Wars Legends, such as the highlights from the Legends books and novels and comics, such as the Thrawn trilogy. That was actually a big deal to a lot of hardcore fans out there, as well as Heir to the Empire, The New Jedi Order, Shadows of the Empire, and more, that's going to really get very involved in shows like Ahsoka, Mando Season 3 and 4, as well as other unannounced Star Wars TV shows. Now, with that being said, we already know that a lot of other shows are currently in the early development phase that will be announced at not just this year's celebration, but the celebration that comes after this one. And that's a bigger deal because that's said to be a bigger event than ever before because it's going to have a lot more announcements to do with the movies in comparison to the Star Wars TV shows, and it really makes you very excited for what's to come by Disney and their overall approach to the Star Wars universe at hand. Now, with that being said, however, one thing that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are trying to make sure is that they want to make sure that Star Wars Legends, once it gets revived, is that it's going to be very accurate to how it was done back in the 90s and the 2000s. They want to make sure that if they are cherry picking, they want to make sure absolutely that it's going to be as accurate as possible. Now, with that being said, however, alright, with both Favreau and Filoni getting ready to begin work on The Mandalorian Season 4, while they work on the Ahsoka Tano TV show, Disney and Lucasfilm are preparing to enhance their roadmap of new Star Wars TV shows and projects to arrive in the near future. However, it's noted that recently Jon Favreau made a big decision for one of the new Star Wars TV shows that are currently in the works over at Lucasfilm that are said to tie directly into the new Star Wars trilogy of movies that are currently in development right now as we speak. Now, it's noted that Favreau recently hired actor Keanu Reeves to take part in a major cameo for one of the upcoming Star Wars TV shows for Disney Plus that is going to connect to a brand new era in the Star Wars world. Now, it's noted, however, that this series is set to focus on royal families, such as the House of Dooku and the House of Palpatine, and other royal families that will be featured. The series is said to have a side story involved between both Palpatine and Plagueis that will be inspired from James Luceno's book, Plagueis. Now, the hiring of Keanu Reeves for the series is said to be for an already pre-planned flashback scene that will involve Keanu's character known as Lord Valar, one of the first Sith Lords to have mastered the essence transfer technique that will be explained by Plagueis to Palpatine in this new series. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, you can see how they are taking a lot of elements from the Plagueis book by James Luceno, which, by the way, has a lot of scenes where Plagueis is teaching Palpatine about the dark side, about the Sith, and all these different aspects of the dark side of the Force in general, right? So, this new show, Project House, it's going to feature the House of Dooku and the House of Palpatine, bringing us back to those two families and other royal families. That's really going to show us more about the corrupt side of some of the powerful figures in the Star Wars universe, and that, to me, I think, is all the more exciting. That means, of course, we are going to be learning more about the struggles between the different royal families and exactly how Palpatine pretty much falls into the hands of Plagueis in the current canon. Now, on top of all of that, alright, this new show currently dubbed as Project House is set to be announced in the beginning of 2023 by Disney to further add on to the roadmap of the Star Wars universe. However, currently Lucasfilm wants to embrace a darker side of Star Wars TV shows, this being one of them. This is also an attempt to get fans familiar with this new character that will be a part of the 4th Star Wars trilogy that is still currently in the works by Lucasfilm that will feature Keanu Reeves as Lord Valar. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, we talked about Lord Valar a couple of months ago of how this is going to be a Sith Lord that actually is the owner of the Sith Exegol area, alright, that we saw in The Rise of Skywalker. So basically, the Sith Sanctuary, as it's called, on Exegol, that's exactly what used to be run by Lord Valar. In fact, the throne that you do see is not actually Palpatine's, but it was once Lord Valar's that Palpatine took years after his death. That, to me, is a very interesting way to slightly, and I say slightly, connect it to the sequel trilogy movies. You know, it's a very small connection. So, Lord Valar will be based in the unknown regions, and specifically on the world of Exegol. We will be learning more about that planet in depth in the upcoming canon material, so just keep that in mind. Now, moving from this, Lord Valar is actually set to appear in flashbacks for a handful of upcoming Star Wars shows, both animated and live action, that Favreau and Filoni will be handling. One of the new animated shows will also feature this character that will be voiced by Keanu Reeves to cater to all types of Star Wars fans if they enjoy live action or animated shows. Now, this new series is set to also give fans new secrets about Palpatine and Plagueis that will completely change how fans view the prequel trilogy by George Lucas. Lord Valar is described to be a more menacing character than Palpatine ever was, and is described to be a villain that has transferred from body to body or host to host over the course of a couple thousands of years. However, Jon Favreau is said to have already had too many conversations, of course, with Keanu Reeves about his role as Lord Valar in Project House to step up the character in the new canon for Star Wars. Now, this new Sith character will also hold new dark side powers never before seen in live action that will surprise Star Wars fans by taking some key abilities from Star Wars Legends stories from the 1990s. Now, here's the thing about this, alright? I think that this is a clever move by Jon and Dave to really make the character more familiar to fans before these new movies drop in the next couple of years. This, to me, I think is brilliant by kind of dropping breadcrumbs of Lord Valar and his existence in the Star Wars world and in the overall universe. That, to me, I think is a very clever move on their part to slowly build the character up. We also know that in 2023, we will be getting a lot of books and comics about this character, who actually wields a curved lightsaber blade, mind you, so this character is going to be pretty much, you know, a distinctive character in the Star Wars universe, you know? I think that's what makes Maul and Kylo Ren so unique, is their saber designs, and it's all about the saber designs at the end of the day that really make some of these villains stand out. Just like Dooku with his curved hilt, right? There's always a little change here and there, or a little artistic change that really makes the villain stand out more. So overall, guys, you know, I think that what Jon Favreau is doing here, I think, is perfect. It really lines everything up, and it sounds like that Project House is going to be a very politically driven show, as well as throwing in a lot of the dark side elements from James Luceno's book. So, like I say, guys, you know, drop a comment below, let me know all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to